Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, me I tell you say, like me I say now, you can fool some of the people them some of the time, but you can't fool all of the people all the time. Now New York City is appealing the judge's ruling that reinstate municipal workers that were fired from not getting the COVID vaccine in the city of New York. A Staten Island judge has ruled that all city workers should be rehired and they should be given back pay. You are going to, that's what we're going to be discussing right now, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rastafari Soldier here of Deep Roots TV. Greetings, and salutations to all nations. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, you know I'm Rastafari Soldier here of Deep Roots TV. And if this is your first time tuning in, I'm asking you to hit that red subscribe button. And we're going to have a great relationship, ladies and gentlemen. Shocking news coming out of New York. As you see reporting here, Ralph Porzio, a Staten Island Supreme Court judge, has struck down the New York mandate for the COVID-19 vaccine. And it is a stunning revelation, ladies and gentlemen. The city is appealing the latest ruling by the Staten Island judge finding settlement of the municipal worker forced to be required vaccination. The Staten Island judge in the court, Justice Ralph Porzio, ruled Monday that the vaccination required for the group of 16 sanitation workers suing the city in an arbitrary court was illegal. Being vaccinated does not prevent you as an individual from contacting or transmitting COVID-19, the ruling note. The judge ruled that the pioneers shouldn't have been terminated, and if it was about public health or safety, no one should have been exempt. Ladies and gentlemen, the ruling would reinstate fired unvaccinated employees, and other would be ordered to be given back pay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm on the phone right now with a good friend of mine, Ras Tiller. Now, Ras, you hear what going on in New York right now?
Yeah, bro, I'm here, man.
Now, when I realized this was a preposterous scheme for the last 2 years that saw many people lose their livelihood, many children get left out of school and set behind on an education level. The whole world as a whole was set back for 2 years. Remind me of the great dark ages. Now, I hear this judge is saying that, the New York City, workers, the employees that were fired because they refused to take the COVID vaccine had to be reinstated and have to be paid back pay. Now, how that make you feel, my general?
Well, the people should have some kind of rights, man. You know what I mean? For them own self, at least. That was a choice where, one you have to make, for them own health.
Definitely, I find it preposterous to hear a free democratic society speaking of democracy, and when it comes to a thing of, putting a foreign substance in your body that wasn't proven by any kind of research or any kind of testing, you was called all kind of negative names. And here you have a United States Supreme Court judge striking down the mandate that the New York City police officer, fire worker, garbage personnel, school workers, first responders as nurses were alienated, fired, and their livelihood was destroyed from this erroneous mandate. Earlier in the week, I don't know if you heard this clip, I heard a European parliamentarian by the name of Rob Ross asking Janine Small, which is the international marketing president for Pfizer, if Pfizer had tested the vaccine on its efficiency on preventing the transmission. And frankly, she abruptly, with no care and no hesitation, stated to Mr. Ross, no, Pfizer did not test to see if it was efficient against the prevention of the spread. Which, it drove shockwaves across the world, and no media in the United States that I notice is covering this. Now, it's alarming to me. Yaganti family. So I don't know if you have anything to say as far as, you know, the Pfizer president, the international marketing president, saying that they did not test this vaccine at all for efficiency. It was shocking to me when I heard it.
Well, you know, one time they said it was a trial thing, it was a trial drugs, you know. Drugs and trial, you know, that's not good.
Yeah, but for some reason, the governments and the media did not look at this as some kind of trial drug. For some reason, they pushed this on the population as if it was ethical and as if it was, they insinuated that it would prevent the spread of the actual COVID-19 virus.
That was an assumption. Yeah, that's why the people have a right to say no, you know, but them have to pay them money, you understand?
Yeah, it's just shocking to me that they actually admitted this so clearly. It's just, and nobody's saying nothing. Not at all.
Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee?
Well, I tell you, say it's just alarming to me still say the people them really not say nothing. And it just proves facts that, you know, sometimes when you get caught in a certain environment, the people them have power over you. Because if you're the other man yard, then guess what's going to happen? They might go dictate to you as far as what is necessary to have his yard running properly. Now me have actually have a clip of the actual audio that Rob Ross actually at the European Parliament meeting has posted on his site. I mean, actually want the people them to hear for themselves what Rob Ross said.
The Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market?
Now,
if not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping immunisation before it's entered the market? No. These...
I'll play the exchange between them so you can actually hear it, because I know so you're there in a different country and thing. So more you have hear the actual conversation between, you know, Rob Ross and Janine Small. Like I was saying, she's the president of international marketing for Pfizer. And just the way she spoke, it was just alarming. Now here's the clip of Rob Ross. Hopefully you can hear it over the phone. As he spoke to Janine Small. And it was absolutely alarming. And he said it was scandalous. Alright, the video, like, click on the picture instead. So let me see if I can, okay, yeah, I did click on the picture itself. Now listen to Rob Ross explaining before you actually hear the clip of what occurred.
You don't get vaccinated just for yourself, but also for others. You do it for all of society. That's what I said. Today, this turned out to be complete nonsense. In a COVID hearing in the European Parliament, one of the Pfizer directors just admitted to me, at the time of introduction, the vaccine had never been tested on stopping the transmission of the virus. This removes the entire legal basis for the COVID passport. The COVID passport that led to massive institutional discrimination as people lost access to essential parts of society. I find this to be shocking, even criminal. Please watch the video until the end.
Voor u, mevrouw Small, heb ik de volgende vraag waar ik een duidelijk antwoord op wil. And I will speak in English so there are no misunderstandings. Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market? If not, please say it clearly. If yes, are you willing to share the data with this committee? And I really want a straight answer, yes or no, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much.
Regarding the question around, did we know about stopping humanisation before it's entered the market? No. We had to really move at the speed of science to really understand what is taking place in the market.
This is scandalous. Millions of people worldwide felt forced to get vaccinated because of the myth that you do it for others. Now this turned out to be a cheap lie. This should be exposed. Please share this video.
You hear that, family? You did hear what the man said? Yo, brother. Now that's a member of the European Parliament. Yaganti, his name is Rob Ross. I don't know if it's Ross or Rose, but him spell him last name R-O-O-S. Anybody want to research it? Rob R-O-O-S. And he's a member of the European Parliament. And I just hear him ask the lady straight up, was the Pfizer vaccine tested for the efficiency of transmission? And you hear how quick she answer? She didn't even take a time to put anything in perspective or say, oh, well, let me clarify this. She just straight up said no. And she's saying basically what was going at the time, they were working with the science. I mean, the way them rush this, you think the science move fast or science move slow, brother?
When it comes to human trial, you need the time or constraints at least, It was very rushed. And then you put people out of work on some rush thing, And people are scared and fearful of what's going to happen,
And the same thing what people was scared and fearful of. It's basically happened. Because the people them were scared of basically taking a foreign substance that does not do what the people them that were forcing them to take it promised that it would do. And up till now we don't even know what this thing really does. You understand?
Yeah, the sign up form, that means if anything happens to you, then no response to you. So that people scared that you can't do that. No repercussion, no?
Yeah, it may take a foreign substance that hasn't been tested, and the Dr. Fauci and all the scientists saying this is unprecedented, and they don't know much about it, where it originates, how it works. Why would I be taking a prescribed prescription from somebody like that?
Right.
I mean, me a man like Bojo Bantan and enough Rasta man forward. Man, I just sing tune say him no want vaccine and Maxine him want. And a lot of these people were pressured just for their own personal views, their ideology, and for just critically thinking and saying, yo, hold on, I just want to wait a few moments because I'm not sure. And from the history of Pfizer, and from the history of Johnson & Johnson and Moderna, with the cases from the talcum powder, from the cancerous talcum powder, to the different kind of side effects that, they have put so-called prescriptions on the market, people had a reason to be skeptical of what they were being ordered and mandated to take. And what I'm realizing, the world damage might be far more greater than a lot of people are saying, are expect, because you think of the mental health toll that it took place on the people. There were old, elderly people that were living the last quarter of their lives that were isolated from their families. There were children that probably lost a lot of cognitive skill development because they were forced to go to school basically behind a mask, not recognizing their teacher or their peers, not recognizing the visual facial expressions. I mean, the damage there's got to be some kind of repercussion as far as legal compensation for more than just the people in a New York State who refuse to take a vaccine. And me notice the islanders, because I didn't hear a lot of islanders that spend a lot of time outside working, go along their business, passing from this virus. And what I notice is that, it's being documented all over the internet that, the immune system needs the sunlight and sometimes supplement of vitamin D to keep it at its prestige or peak level. So when they made mandates for people not to go outside, go to the beach, and have their everyday activity in the sunlight, it appears that they probably have fostered an environment, meaning weakening the immune system of a lot of people, thus, in the end result, further expose them to the virus that they probably would have been able to withstand if they weren't forced under these mandatory lockdown.
Yeah, and fear, and stress.
Yeah, just fear alone and stress alone is going to drop your immune system.
Right.
So it's a big deal that this ruling here reinstate the fired unvaccinated employee and order the back pay. Now, the article continued by saying just how much is back pay to be instilled and how is it going to be calculated. But a group of sanitation workers who were fired for not complying with the city's vaccine mandate can now exhale. After the judge announced that, the decision, there were claps, cries, tears, said the attorney from the sanitation worker. Now, the court sided with the sanitation worker in part after performance and athletics personnel were allowed exemption from the vaccine. In March, when Mayor Adams made an exclusion in individuals to enter vaccinated mandate, the judge said this is not a premise of health and said that, this seems to be the part of the case that the city workers are appealing. Until that court ruling, the vaccinated mandate remained in effect. A spokesman with the law department released in the following statement. This city strongly disagree with the ruling as the mandate is firmly grounded in law and is critical in New York public health. We have already filed an appeal. In the meantime, the mandate remained in place as this ruling pertains solely to the individuals pertaining or petitioning for this case. We continue to review the court decision, which conflicts with the numerous other rulings already upheld in the mandate. Now, on this news right here, Joe Biden, was asked about the ruling on the COVID mandate, right? And when they asked Joe Biden about the COVID mandate, he basically said that the judgment on his own vaccine mandate focused on federal workers and employees and large company. Meanwhile, in the New York City Board of Health, voters unanimously today repealed the vaccine mandate for private employees as initially announced by Mayor Eric Adams on September 20. So it sounds like that the city workers, them, particularly the sanitation workers, are who this particular lift was pertaining to. At least that's what the New York City lawyers are saying. So it appears that the people of New York and the people of the world have won this case against another tyrannic decision that was made by the city of New York, Mayor Adams, and obviously the administration of Joe Biden with the help of the health advisor, Dr. Fauci, and the NIH. So family, I don't know if you have anything to say about the ruling or about the opinion or what the statement that, you know, Rob Ross said as far as the efficiency.
Well, you know, they're going to take it to the court, so, you know, they're going to appeal, so you have to see if a higher court, you know, tell them, say, I know that don't make no sense, you understand?
Yeah, but it's obvious that it don't make no sense. It's more than obvious that it don't make no sense, because how can you have a mandate for health purposes and then you're limiting your city workers, your frontline workers, the people that are on the ground, but you're allowing 4.2 million illegals to cross the border? I mean, there's no COVID on the other side of the border. How you're allowing entertainers, you know, such as basketball players and people that will generate a finance in your city to play, but you're banning man like Djokovic, one of the greatest tennis players in the world, not to enter the country? How can you, when me know says this thing is funny, how can the citizens of the United States travel without required to have a vaccine, but other citizens of other countries cannot enter the United States without a vaccine? So it sounds like it's a mandate on certain people and not on everybody. What you say?
Well, if I saw the evidence, look, I just saw it go then.
But it appears there's a double standards all around the place, brother. Me don't understand. A citizen can fly freely into the United States, and a non-citizen that's already tested and proved that they're not positive couldn't fly into the United States. So that's obvious proving to you that this wasn't about no health. This was about wielding your power and proving to people that you have ultimate control, regardless of what them think.
Right, that's when it comes to a medical emergency. That's what that takes precedence, yeah?
Now, but me see them all rule out religious preference, medical emergency. The soldiers, them in the militaries, them, some of them was fired, let go. So after this announcement here, there probably gonna be a lot of lawsuits, because the evidence is proving that what we were sold is a lie.
Well, to some people it didn't make sense, you know?
Yeah, if you're a tyrannic mind, if you're a pseudopath, and if you think that you are better than other people, if you're egotistic, if you think that the imperialism of the European ways should continue to dominate and rule, you're going to come up with different schemes and different techniques to maintain the power. It's a Machiavellian mentality that, you know, governments or hierarchies, the higher up, should critically calculate the greatest evil that they could do to maintain and to keep power. And that is exactly what I saw occurring worldwide on a Eurocentric level, to wield power over African nations, wield power over Caribbean nations, set their precedents, and to maintain the same idea of the colonial rulership or monarchy that have dominated the entire planet for centuries upon top of centuries, General.
You think that's what it is?
Really? Well, yes. It's a way to, I mean, to keep a person fearful of losing their 1 point. Jamaica, you, like we said, yo, somebody take your 3 points when them take your life. But if you can look back in history, they use God as a fear technique And the same person that was telling you about being righteous, and they were slaughtering you by the millions. And then they come again with the cruelty of bondage of slavery. And then they say you was dark, illiterate, docile, dead, you're black, basically. You have nothing. In order to civilize you, you have to be Europeanized. And in order to Europeanize, you have to be Christianized. And then them come back again down in the 80s and start bribing the people, them and showing the people that there's a terroristic threat from the Middle East. You will die. You will die. And then September 11 unfortunately occur, and after 20 years passing, 2020 man fi open up them eyes and visualize. Them come up with this thing and said it's mandatory that you take this foreign substance because you are going to die. So to me, the fear factor that Europeans wheel from military might to financial catastrophe is a strategy to use fear to control the planet. And if you don't listen, sometimes them actually make the fear come true. Because it's obvious that the NIH and Dr. Fauci, the United States, and other friends are involved in a worldwide cover-up, brother. Gotta be. Because from the orange Jesus, orange man Donald Trump himself, you can look at his body language that he wasn't buying a lot of this, that the head presidential advisor Dr. Fauci was selling.
Well, you know, they found out that it helped the people, that government was trying to help them, So a lot of people agree that them should take the vaccine to be cautious or not,
Yes, they should. But if I'm taking something that I'm putting my life on the line, or my ethical values, or my religious values, with the good of humanity in mind, you guarantee, then the product that is being sold to me and given to me should be at least tested to do what it's saying. Because remember, early in the pandemic, we were being told that we should get vaccinated to slow the curve. And slow the curve is a terminology that will diminish the amount of people that caught it. And how can you slow the curve? You're going to diminish the amount of transmission. You're going to diminish the virus's capability of transmitting. So when it comes out now that Pfizer didn't even test if the vaccine prevents transmission, that's why I said that we were sold a lie. That's a wicked trick on humanity to insinuate, because they probably didn't say, oh, it's going to stop the spread straight up, but to insinuate by saying we're taking the vaccine because we're going to slow the curve. And then later on you come out and you tell us that, oh, no, the vaccine don't slow the curve. It does not prevent transmission. As a matter of fact, it doesn't even prevent you from contracting the COVID-19. All it does, they state, is that the symptoms are not going to be as severe as a person that's not vaccinated.
All right.
So, I mean, you tell me, say, me if you give up all of my rights just because I don't want to feel a little pain. It's like, so if me take a little pill now, me still will catch the flu, but only thing you're not going to feel sore, you might not run fever, and me I tell you, say, oh, me go through that. Me go through that, me don't want the pill. And you say, no, you going to take the pill. You going to take the pill. As a matter of fact, you're going to lose your job, you can fly on the plane, then that don't sound like we're in a democratic society, General. No, but that the man them tell me. The man them say, yo, 97% of the people them will catch the virus survive. So me I take a chance and me pass. Because if I fall in the next 3%, me can't blame the virus. I mean, feel I wasn't doing something in my life, or I'm at age where my body is weak. So I need to isolate myself. I need to protect myself. I need to mask up. I need to protect myself. But you can't come and force me when I have nothing to do with you to protect you, how can I do that? A matter of fact, me don't want to do that. Me wish me could have blow all through phone and make boy get it. And make girl get it. So it's a crazy thing. Me go around and make light of the whole situation a lot. Me say not even the rain fall in every place one time. Not even the sun fall in every place one time. Happily, only the breeze blow everywhere one time. Yeah, guarantee pan planet Earth me I talk about. So, and give thanks to the sun for that. So, when a person come out to me and tell me, say, the COVID virus is in the deepest jungle of the Amazon, and in Uganda, and all the way down in I get up in the hills of Cornwalls of Jamaica, and in up on Blue Mountain Peak, I was a little bit skeptical. What say you?
I never know how transmission was going on, first of all.
Yeah, but come on. What about common sense?
Right. Yeah, because it's 2022 now, and it's like, what, 2020, them start vaccinating people.
Yeah.
Nobody don't even know the side effects of anything, really, after a while, because them say not really give no side effects immediately, some of you. And the people them decide that them don't want none, and you just fire them, you put them in a different department or something, I don't know.
Or just lay them off for the time being, because we all know the pandemic was going to be over. So right. now we go back to work now and them say, yo, oh, we're open, which Florida never closed. Right. We're open. And now when them open, them don't have enough people to run the position them where them say they never want to take the vaccine. So it seems like they caused this underemployment of these strategic locations. Now they're saying that most schools are 4 or 5 points below their reading requirements and mathematics requirements. So when you shut down the school for 2 years and make the children them have to be talking to a screen in their underwear, or their mothers walking back and forth and on the phone or around us in the TV or player, or them see them other siblings or adults in the house playing on Facebook, it's a big distraction. You know what I'm saying? Because most people didn't have a clear, clean facility dedicated. No, I know every, what I would say, poor person or financially strapped person has a room or a location to create a brand new learning facility we would call an office or a place for children. A lot of the times these poor people are overpopulated already. They have 2 or 3 children living in one room. So, I mean, it seems like the education slip. Now, I noticed that they're talking about recession and finance and gas is up $4. I mean, the first thing these people, the administration did was cut the flow of oil, flow of natural gas, and blamed it on his adversary in Europe. It's just amazing, you know. So I want to kind of cut the video right here. So I want to give you a last word as far as on the article here that we were going over. The Staten Island judge, Ralph Porzio, stated basically that the Supreme Court have ordered the city of New York to reinstate all fired employees and also to give them back pay, all employees that they fired for refusing taking the vaccine.
Wow. Well, you know, people have to hold up with them human rights, you know what I mean? Because as them say, it was a trial job and you have to sign a piece of paper to just say you left on your own after you take it, you know? So, yeah, that's how it goes.
Well, I mean, I tell you, say, if hindsight was 2020, me not think a lot of these people would have, if they had waited a few, I don't think a lot of people would have taken this vaccine. And if they would have allowed people to slowly, you know, make their choice, I don't think that they would have had so much pushback. But when you try to force people to do what they don't want to do.
Yeah, like, you know, if you're not taking it by Monday, you get fired. You know what I mean?
No, man, nobody wait till Monday, brother. Me quit now. Yeah, that's why I'm on a Rasta, you know, cause people don't expect the Rasta man for inner certain things. You are gonna take. And when they come to all, a man come with all a foreign object what they call an eagle. For joking at me. Me I tell you straight up. Me afraid. Me no want nobody a joke me with no iron object, Bridget Darrell.
Well, I guess we gotta see how it goes still, because you know how this court system works, you know?
Well, it's a two-tier justice system. It appears in worldwide. You can see some people don't want equal rights, they just want extra rights. You can see, and certain people, like I said, has been promoting this colonial mentality for thousands of years. And unfortunately, certain people get beat down and just accept the loser position in this whole situation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Rastafari Soldier here chatting with Rastilla. Here and we're talking about Ralph Porzio, the state justice court there in Staten Island has reinstated all of the state employees that were fired for refusing to take the COVID-19 vaccine and with back pay. Go ahead and hit that red subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome.
And we're going to have a great relationship. I'm more life, I'm more joy, yeah.
Pick up people,
Yes, my family.
respect, make sure to tune in here every time.